Last Sunday, our scripture reading was Mark's story of Jesus taking Peter, James, and John, three of his disciples, up a mountain where he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, and his face shone. It would seem like the disciples suddenly saw Jesus differently, that he radiated a deeper spirit of God, in fact, fully embodied the experience of God. In our reading today, Jesus comes back down the mountain after this soul-deep time with the three disciples to find the other disciples arguing with the religious authorities. The disciples have been unable to heal a child with an unclean spirit, and Jesus, disappointed, wonders if his followers will ever understand the way to life in God, wonders if they will be able to continue the mission once he has gone. Now reading Mark chapter 9, verses 14 to 32. When Jesus, Peter, James, and John came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd around them, and some scribes arguing with them. When the whole crowd saw him, they were immediately overcome with awe, and they ran forward to greet him. He asked the disciples, "What are you arguing about with them?" Someone from the crowd answered him, "Teacher, I brought my son. He has a spirit that makes him unable to speak, and whenever it seizes him, it dashes him down, and he foams and it grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. And I asked your disciples to cast it out, but they could not do so." Jesus answered them, "You faithless generation, how much longer must I be among you? How much longer must I put up with this? Bring him here to me." And they brought the boy to him. When the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the father, How long has this been happening to him? And he said, "From childhood. It has often cast him into the fire and into water to destroy him. But if you are able to do anything, have pity on us and help us." Jesus said to him, "If you are able, all things can be done for the one who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out, "I believe, help my unbelief." When Jesus saw a crowd come running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, "You spirit that keeps this boy from speaking and hearing, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." After crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out of the boy, and it was like a corpse, so that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he was able to stand. When they had entered the house, the disciples asked him privately, "Why could we not cast it out?" Jesus said to them, "This kind can come out only through prayer." They went on from there and passed through Galilee. He did not want anyone to know it, for he was teaching his disciples, saying, "The Son of Man is to be betrayed into human hands, and they will kill him, and 3 days after being killed, he will rise again." But they did not understand what he was saying and were afraid to ask him. Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church.
Thanks be to God.